Hi, it's Mark from LoganFiles.com. Today we're going to be discussing Wolverine number 73. The book starts off with Wolverine. It shows his day-to-day activities. Day 1, he's with the Avengers. Day 2, Tuesday, he's with the X-Men. Day 3, he's having a solo adventure with something. And we go through like several days of this. In fact, let's go through it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, 11. 11 pages basically of nothing more than single little clips of Wolverine's everyday life. I found it to be a big waste of time in the book. A lot of people claim that Wolverine is everywhere all the time, all at once, which is not true at all. In a year's time, we get 12 issues of Wolverine, and in those 12 issues, it's usually a 6-part story arc. So that's 2 stories that took place. So we're usually getting, in a 6 months time, we're getting 1 story, and that 1 story usually happens within like a week's amount of time. So the truth is that was 1 week out of Wolverine's life. It wasn't 6 months like you think it was. It was only a week of Wolverine's actual lifetime, and if there's 2 arcs like that, that's 2 weeks out of a whole year. So that leaves 50 weeks for Wolverine to do other stuff, including maybe being in another book, like Wolverine Origins. So there's a lot of confusion I think people have with, Wolverine's everywhere. How can he be in 5 books in 1 month? Well, if you really think about it, those 5 books aren't all happening simultaneously at the same time. So I don't really get the argument for that. And there's other ways to explain it too. Let's say they were going all at the same time. There's plenty of ways that Wolverine get around. How many, teleporters and, special planes and, all kinds of ways to travel through gateways and all kinds of crud, the ways to transport around. Not to mention people flying and all other types of forms of getting around. But that's not the point. The point is that this was a lot of pages of wasted time. I mean, I do enjoy Kubert's art. It's quite good. I even liked the ending where Wolverine meets up with Yukio, and they kind of have a little discussion about being in Wolverine's shoes and that she would never want it. Well, I'll agree with that. Wolverine, I mean, those are some shoes you don't want to walk in. He has a rough life. So that's the I guess first part of A Mile in My Moccasins. So I guess we'll get the second one next week, and I'm hoping that it gets a lot better than that, because so far it was pretty cruddy. I mean, there's some funny little things that you see and stuff, but overall wasn't really that interesting, and there's nothing to read, so you just kind of flip through it. I went back over and checked out the art and appreciated the art, but otherwise it was nothing really written about this. The second story, 1%er, is by Daniel Way. Definitely a much better storyline. Basically, to sum it up real quick, Wolverine meets up with some old biker buddy that he knew. The biker had cleaned up his act and cleaned up his gang. They're not, hardcore biker, smoker, drinker, drugs, all that kind of stuff. Actually, they probably are smoker drinkers. But anyway, I guess they're not the bad of the bad. In the middle of Wolverine and this guy's little family reunion, I guess, they rival biker gang kills some of their bikers, and the biking gang demands that the leader, Wolverine's friend, takes action against this other biker gang. And so we find out that Wolverine's friend's son joined the other biker gang and is actually the one who initiated or killed some of their bikers, and that the son actually hates the dad. So Wolverine has sympathy because he realizes this is a very similar story to his own. Wolverine goes to investigate this other biker gang, comes across this girl, asks her some question. All of a sudden, she gets shot up. Somebody assassinated her. Wolverine turns to see who it is, goes to catch up with them, and they're riding off on a bike. This story was much better than the first, although I do like Kubert's art much better than the art that's in the second story, but that's okay. Overall, it's a pretty good book, and if you guys have any questions about these two stories or any comments, go ahead and post them. I'll be happy to answer them, and we'll see you next issue.